Here I am putting the track together for the two end-to-end runs for aftermath layout. I've used Hornby set track and I'm just cutting it at the ends so that it fits the layout. Now it needs trimming at a slight angle. For example, I've just cut those pieces off. I'm using a junior hacksaw to cut the track. You have to go really carefully, safety first. Alternatively, you can use specialist wire cutters which snip the ends of the track. They may need a slight filing afterwards. They work fairly well as well. Now I glue down each of the track pieces with contact adhesive. So here I am, I've stuck down my track to the insulation foam board. That's all good stuff. And then I thought, you know what, I really should have put the bridge in place first, shouldn't I? Really, I should have just cut the foam out and put the bridge in. It's sitting here ready to go in, and I didn't do it. So the good thing about this sort of thing though, where you use glue, is it's easy just to slide a knife under there very carefully, bring the stuff up, do what I want to do and re-stick it down. Here's another interesting thing. Now I was going to use a Hogarth stone model as rod 609, but rod 609 is an 060 and it looks like a Ginty. I don't know if it is a Ginty because these things weren't built I think until the 1920s, so why would it be in World War One? Perhaps it's a French machine or some other very similar looking loco, I don't know. Or perhaps it isn't a 3F at all, but a very similar locomotive. Could be that. So what I'm going to do is get a cheap Ginty, a brand new LMS railroad one, and convert that to 609 instead. Having used a series of colour spray primers, car primers, red, black and grey, I'm now going to brush on a black wash with the paintbrush, and I'm going to use Citadel paint non-oil. This is essentially a black wash. Now the nice thing about it is how well it goes on. So if I try and demonstrate, I'll put a piece on here and you have to kind of put quite a lot on. And get it into all those cracks and crevices, and then what it will do is really highlight the detail by going into those areas instead. Cracks and crevices, I can do it everywhere really, so I'm doing it on this section too. There we are. That gives you an idea already of how it's going to look. Now it's wet and so looking a bit glossy at the moment, but when it's dry it will be more matte. Now when applying these washes, of course, you can take it off. It's a matter of experimenting really. I'm left this area here, it's just paint, I haven't put any wash on that, and yeah, if you let the wash run down to here more, which it naturally will do if you're holding it the correct way, upright, then it might give a more realistic effect. It's just a matter of experimenting. I've done my bridge quite differently to the rendition on the package, but of course it's up to you how you want to do it. I think this will look very detailed in the end with all the brickwork highlighted this way. I'll just mark out where this is going to go. Whatever you do with knives, always do it carefully. Now, of course I stuck this down earlier, so I need to just carefully unstick it. And this is why I only tack the glue in certain places. It's not all the way along, you don't have to over glue it. Of course I've come outside, this next part is very messy. Now I'm wearing a mask, and that's because there's some fibres in this Celotex, and there are guidelines on their website, so they say. I haven't read them. I've just put a mask on anyhow because I don't want to breathe in any of this stuff that I'm cutting up. That's just the right height and enough thickness here to give it some strength still. Now the laminations in the foam board are at a couple of points here which are fairly natural layers actually for the bridge as it happens, so that looks like that's turned out okay. Just need to clean that up later. And there it all is so far. And what I'm doing now is cutting a line right next to the track. This will enable me to take off this layer of protective film. I'll have to repaint this, but I can rough up the surface. That means it's nice and smooth under the track. It's nice and muddy here. Now what I need to do is roughen up this surface to turn it into a muddy field. So you can see under the track it's still nice and smooth and I can ballast on there alright, but this bit will be all mud in the end. I've literally decided to spray even all over the track so we get everything the same colour, and then I'm going to clean the track after. This is how it looks now, and it looks like rain, so rain stop play. So now we're going for a handheld ride over the terrain as it stands at the moment. Now it still needs some PVA glue added to it to give it some strength, because it does come off quite easily at the moment, all that paint. And then in this area here will be the river. So that will be some layers of varnish. I think the bridge looks pretty good, sunken in there. The railway track of course needs ballasting. The background will be painted grey probably, perhaps with some black rolling hills there. This area here, just this side of the bridge, is where my Mark 1 tank is going to come up. It's actually gone through the river a little bit and it'll be coming up over